Saints fans and who that's, this is Kyle T. Mosley here with Bob Rose as well as Mike Detillier giving you the halftime report. How you guys doing? How you doing, Bob? How you doing, Mike?
Doing great, thank you.
Hanging in there, guys. I hope you're well.
Hanging in there, as well as the Saints are hanging in there, 17-17 at halftime. A couple of peculiar type of playing from the New Orleans Saints. Bob, what do you see?
What I see, guys, is not good. I'm going to start with the pass defense, which is abysmal at best. And the third down pass defense is worse than abysmal. They got to find an answer for Darren Waller. I realize that young man is a very, very talented tight end, but he's just eating them alive. And guys, where's the pass rush, especially in key situations? I know that we saw 3 sacks of Derek Carr in the first half, but those were coverage sacks when the Saints secondary played well as a whole on those particular plays, but they aren't making the plays when it counts defensively. Offensively, Drew just seems still off, guys. And I don't want to question his overall abilities at 41 years old, just a game and a half into the regular season. But it's starting to make me scratch my head. That's in a nutshell right now.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, how about you? How do you see everything going so far?
Third down defense has been terrible. You haven't been able to get off the field. You dominated that football game up until the last 2 drives. And then they scored touchdowns. But they were converting third down. And so, listen, when you can't get off the field and you can't get pressure, and I wrote this in the article, man, I've watched Derek Carr since he was a high school player. There is an MO on him. If you put pressure on him and knock him around, you saw what happens. He holds on to the football. He won't throw it. What's happened? They've let him sit in the pocket the last couple drives, and he has eaten them alive. Has not been Josh Jacobs. They've done a really good job in run support in stopping Josh, but it's the passes out in the flat. If it's been to Waller, who has really emerged as a big-time player. Remember, when I scouted him, he was a wide receiver at Georgia Tech. The Ravens picked him. He had a lot of off-the-field issues. Really been a great project player for Gruden, but the Saints have no answer to him outside. And again, I think the key is you got to be able to get in Derek Carr's face. You got to pressure him and affect his throw. If not, you're going to be in for a long game because he can spin it. Offensively, we saw a lot of everything. 1, Drew was a little off. Secondly, drop passes. 4 of them in this game. But who has come through? Of all guys, Traquan. He dropped the first one, but then he comes through for you, and he makes some key catches. Kamara's played terrific. But I think Sean is not going to like too much of what he's seen on third down, and they got to dial it up. Dennis Allen has got to be able to dial up blitzes to affect Derek Carr's throw. If not, this game is going to be a lot closer than all of us thought.
Yeah, I was surprised how conservative the defense was playing, especially in the first quarter, how they were really, like you're saying, affecting Carr, stopping Jacobs, and really kind of limiting the Raiders. But in order to give up drives of 63 yards and 75 yards, like you say, and converting on third downs, that's a lot to be considered, as well as the penalties. But also, one thing I noticed on defense, Malcolm Jenkins is starting to look his age as well.
Yeah, he sure is. And that goes back to one of my opening comments that they have to find an answer for Waller, which, listen, that isn't easy to do because that young man is extremely talented. But I'll tell you what isn't the answer to Darren Waller is Malcolm Jenkins. You put Demario Davis on him when Waller lines up in the slot. I'm good with that. Demario can match him athletically, definitely match him physically. I wouldn't mind seeing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, or even for that matter, P.J. Williams on Waller. Now, the Raiders have brought Waller out of the backfield a couple of times. That's a tough matchup against, but that's when the play comes down to either Anzalone or Demario Davis. To keep him from cut his legs down before he gets around that corner.
Okay. All right. Mike, what has gone well for the Saints?
one, they've moved the football for the most part. There's not been a lot of pressure on Drew. Now, the interception, he couldn't put, drive into the throw. But that's Drew. That was a bad throw on Drew Brees' part. He's got to take that's his. You put your hand on the Bible. That one's yours. You were trying to get the ball over the top of the linebacker. You didn't think he had dropped back in that soft coverage that way to Deontay Harris. So they've moved the football. But, my thing is, don't you guys feel as though this should be a 24-14 or 17 game? Yeah. That the Saints should have a lot more points on the board than what they have. It was almost like missed opportunities, especially early in the game. Yes. When it looked as though the Raiders were like a boxer. They couldn't get their hands up fast enough. The other thing you got to say, right now, John Gruden is out coaching Dennis Allen. Mm-hmm. With his play calls against Allen's defense, he is doing one heck of a job. And that has a lot to do, I saw it a lot of times, you watching practices at the Saints camp, and John Gruden, when he was an announcer, he's in the middle of the field with Sean Payton watching. And so he's got the book on what's going on defensively for this football team, and he found the weak area. The Saints have done a great job against the run, but I'm really surprised that they have not been able to put any more pressure than what they have in the second quarter, because I thought it really affected. You saw Derek Carr in the first quarter. He was bailing out of there pretty quick, and he holds on to the football. The MO on him is easy to figure out. You can't go after him just with 4. You're going to have to take some chances downfield. But again, this is almost like a wake-up call for this football team. I think they thought they could go to Vegas, easy win, jump in a plane, we come back. Man, they forgot to give the Raiders that memo.
And you know what, Mike? I felt the defense especially started behaving that way the second quarter, kind of taking it easy, real lax on how they were handling things. DeMario Davis has been playing very well. Bob, who else on defense do you see has been really shining tonight?
Onyemata's had a really good first half. Matter of fact, Onyemata, Rankins, and Roach, Malcolm Roach, has all made some nice plays inside. Certainly against Josh Jacobs in the running game, they like you said, Mike, they bottled him up well, but they've gotten some pressure on Carr too, especially in that first quarter. I couldn't agree more with what Mike said. I think if Dennis Allen dials up some blitzes in the second half from DeMario or maybe Malcolm Jenkins, then that's going to widen out the Raiders' pass protection a little bit and allow those defensive tackles more one-on-one blocking opportunities. Because I think the defensive MVPs of the first half, and I say that lightly, are DeMario and Onyemata. I really like the way those two guys have played. But Roach and Rankins have had their moments as well.
And I'll throw in Malcolm Brown. I think Malcolm has played really, the stars of this team have been the interior defensive tackles. I think they have played a really good game, bottling up Josh Jacobs. And DeMario, he is DeMario Davis. He's played an excellent game. The secondary, for me, along with the edge rushers, that's been the disappointment, especially when you're going up against a backup tackle.
Come
on, you got to win those battles.
Yes.
Got to win them.
I felt that way as well. I don't know what Cam is really doing right now. All right, the second half is about to start, guys. Mike, how do you just one key, right quick? What do they need to do?
Affect Derek Carr. You win this game. If you affect him, you're going to win it.
Bob, right quick.
Mine was Mike, so I'll go offensively. You got to get Drew into a rhythm. He still looks off kilter. You got to give him some easy throws to build up his confidence. Can't believe I'm saying that about a Drew Brees led team, but that's what I think needs to happen offensively.
All right, guys. You can find more about us on si.com/NFL/Saints. We're going to have some reports from John Hendricks directly from Allegiant Stadium after the game as well. This is Kyle T. Mosley with Mike Detillier and Bob Rose. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Bob. You guys have a good one. Take care. Let's see how the Saints do it.
Who dat?
Who dat?